31 Proverbs in 31 Days, Chapter 6. There's a lot to digest in Proverbs 6. Verse 1 says, "My son, if you've put up security for your neighbour, have given a pledge to a stranger, if you're snared in the words of your mouth, caught in the words of your mouth, then do this, my son, and save yourself. For if you've come into the hand of your neighbour, go hasten and plead urgently with your neighbour. Give your eyes no sleep and your eyelids no slumber. Save yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the hand of the fowler." So basically, don't go giving securities to your neighbour and lending money to your neighbour. It's just a bad idea. That's what banks are for. With a bank, you have a contract, you have legal protection all the way around. Everybody's protected. With a family or a friend or a neighbour, there's no protection. It's just word of mouth, and there are very, very few relationships that won't be potentially soured by some kind of financial transaction. You've got to be super careful. Obviously, if you want to give a gift to somebody, that's a totally different thing. You give a gift to somebody and there can be a lot of joy that comes out. There's goodness from that. You can be a gifter or you can be a grateful recipient. Some people are not good at receiving gifts, some people are not good at giving them, but it can be a good exercise. But that's a totally different thing to what the Proverbs is talking about. It's basically saying, don't get yourself in a financial situation where a relationship can struggle, suffer, die, or even worse, there could be lawsuits and all kinds of stuff that comes from it. If you go down that road of lending or creating a security with a friend, family member, or a neighbour, you end up completely changing the dynamic of that relationship. The ultimate end to that relationship is going to be that there's always going to be an asterisk. So the writer here is saying, just don't do it. Be wise. Don't end up giving your money or creating a new dynamic in a relationship that didn't need it. You're only going to cause a problem for yourself. Imagine having to plead with somebody that you borrowed money from, "Hey, I'm really sorry, I can't repay this." Imagine the damage that does to a relationship, because if you lend, you're expecting to get that money back. If you borrow, you're expected to give it back. Any violation of that on either side causes problems. If you do that legally with a bank, yeah, you might still have problems, of course, but you're not going to have that relational dynamic that can be just crushing. I love how practical the Proverbs are. It gives us all these nuggets and go, hey, if you live this way, you're not going to have this issue in your life. You want to be financially uncomplicated in your life. And to go along with that, let's have an uncomplicated dram. Let's have the Bruichladdie Classic Laddie. It's worthy of a place in anybody's Scotch collection. It's an unpeated Islay, so it's different from most other Islas. It's 50% ABV, so it is barley and alcohol forward. It's sweet, it's a little bit salty, a little bit toffee, a little bit cinnamon, a little bit spice. It's really different to most other whiskies, but it's a classic for a reason. So, sip it slowly, ruminate on wisdom. Tomorrow, chapter 7.